My name is Brenda Vaca, and I am the mission coordinator for the Western Jurisdiction Hispanic Latino Mission. My brother, the Reverend Israel Alvaran, asked me to do this video testimony last year for Reconciling Ministries Network of our United Methodist Church. I said that I would, and it took me a year to do it. The reason it took me a year is because the Latino community that I love and serve is in deep anguish and struggle over the issue of justice and compassion for our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. I have heard people say in my own Latino community, that is not our issue. We don't have to deal with that issue. We are struggling with immigration. We are dealing with poverty, violence. The most radical among us raise awareness around gender equality. But homosexuality, that is not our issue. But I am here to say it is our issue. If we call ourselves disciples of Jesus Christ, we must concern ourselves with freedom, freedom for all. When I still lived and served in San Francisco, I met a beautiful trans-Latina sister, Isa Noyola, who works with a transgender law center. And she works tirelessly for justice for undocumented trans-Latinas, not just in the San Francisco Bay Area, but all over the United States. And what I have been learning from Isa as I follow her around on Facebook are about the intersections of race, socioeconomic class, immigration status, gender identity. We know that the LGBTQ undocumented immigrants, especially trans women, continue to be detained, tortured, and deported by immigration customs and enforcement. Did you know that 1 in every 500 detainees in immigration detention centers are trans-Latinas and living under threat of deportation to their native countries, which in many cases is tantamount to a death sentence? Here's a report from the campaign, Not One More LGBTQ Deportation. Take the case of Nicole Hernandez Polanco, a 24-year-old transgender undocumented woman from Guatemala that spent 6 months in a detention center in Florence, Arizona. And Nicole was placed in an all-male facility. Her gender identity was not respected, and she experienced sexual and physical abuse. She was recently released after months of a public campaign, and her case is only one of many transgender, undocumented women in detention centers who continue to experience abuse and torture. I believe in the work of Reconciling Ministries. I believe that all of God's children are made in God's image. I believe in the goodness of people. Good is the word that God used when referring to creation, including humanity. That includes our LGBTQ brothers and sisters. I believe in the goodness of our communities, including the most marginal among us, our trans women of color. I believe in the inherent dignity of all of God's people. That means all of us, regardless of sexual orientation or immigration status, how much money we make, or what titles we possess. We must concern ourselves with liberation, not condemnation, not deportation. Love is love. # not one more.